Stoichiometry practice number 2, problem number 1. So here we go with that. Again, we have our steps that we're going to take right here, and we have our problem for number 1. When lithium nitride combines with water, it yields ammonia and lithium hydroxide. Now, ammonia here, when I look at it, you should know what the formula for ammonia is, but we will give it to you anyways, NH3. So don't think of ammonium ion, which is NH4, but that's a plus one. Then this is NH3. So that's ammonia and lithium hydroxide. So let's go ahead and we'll put that over. And we have two different parts to it. So this is okay to look at it this way. Now, a couple things is I have my number right here. It looks like it might be 3, but nah, that's not 3. It is 2 significant figures our answer needs to be in, because preceding zeros never count, even if there's a decimal. So our answer needs to be in 2 sig figs. So you might want to write that down. We could put it right here. So again, 2 sig figs. And again, I like to go ahead and identify that somehow, so we can change that color on that. So we know that our answer needs to be in 2 significant figures. So let's look at our first thing we have to do is our skeleton equation, or our unbalanced chemical equation. And it says when lithium nitride combines with water, it yields ammonia and lithium hydroxide. So let's go ahead and start what we have. We have lithium nitride. So lithium, if we go about it, has a charge. I believe its charge is +1. +1. Nitrogen is a -3. But let's go ahead and double check those. And again, I would double check those each and every time. Lithium right here is in column 1A, so that's a +1. Nitrogen is over here, and it needs 1, 2, 3 electrons to get there, so it is a -3. We could also, again, go down to our monoatomic ion sheet, and we see that lithium is a +1, nitrogen is a -3. So let's go ahead and go back. So since they do not cancel each other out right now, we have to crisscross. So we're going to put a 3 right here, and we're going to put a 1 over here. And again, we may want to just go ahead and make them subscripts. Oops. So there's our first one. So we're going to write that down here as lithium, Li, and we have a subscript of 3. And then we put in nitride, which is N, nitrogen, and we only need 1, so we don't need to put a number down there. So that's going to combine with water. Hopefully you know the formula for water, H2O. And we said that that is going to yield ammonia, which is NH3. And lithium hydroxide. Now, lithium hydroxide, lithium is, we know what that is. That's a plus. If I go way up here, lithium's a +1. Hydroxide, well, what is hydroxide? Well, first of all, it's not an element, so it's a polyatomic ion. So we need to go back to our packet. We look at our packet, scroll to the very end, and we need to find hydroxide. Hydroxide, so H, hydroxide right there, it's OH, but it's a -1. So there's our formula for that OH, and it's a -1. So let's get rid of that. And we know that this is a -1. Okay, so this is a -1. So I have a +1 and a -1. They automatically cancel each other out, so I only need 1 of each one. So we're going to go in here, and that's going to yield lithium, Li. Then hydroxide is OH, if we remember what that is. So right there is our balance, or not our balance, but our skeleton equation, or our unbalanced chemical equation. So now we have to go ahead and balance it. The easiest way to do that is, again, is to write down all these. And you got to show your work anyway, so you might as well just go ahead and do it this way. And we're going to do it with all of them. Oxygen. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 elements on this side. And again, we count the capital letters. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like 5, but that's just another hydrogen. Okay, so we're going to count that we have on this side. So lithium we have 3, so we're going to put a 3 there. Nitrogen we only have 1, so we're going to put a 1 there. Hydrogen we have 2, so we can put a 2 there. Oxygen there's only 1, so we're going to put a 1 there. Then we're going to do the same thing over on this side. We're going to put our lithium. I only have 1 lithium, so we can put a 1. Then we have our nitrogen. And we look at this right here. I have 1 nitrogen right there, so it's just going to be a 1. Then we have our hydrogen, which I have 3 right here, but I also have 1 over here, so that's going to be a hydrogen is going to be 4. And then our oxygen, oops, go back one. Our oxygen, I just have 1 on this side. We're just going to put an oxygen is 1. So now we have to make them balance. So I don't care how we do it. I like to say water to the end, because I know that if it's in a 2-to-1 ratio, we're going to be good with that. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's start right off with the top one of lithium. I have a 3 on this side. I only have 1 over here, so I need to change the coefficient to a 3 to make sure that I have 3 right here. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that by striking through, excuse me. And so now I have 3, but I also changed my oxygen. So notice I have 3 oxygens now, so we're going to change that to a 3. And then my hydrogen, I have 3 over here now, and those 3, so I have 6. So I have 6. So we're going to, and then we'll just get rid of these. Okay, so now we can change. We said we're going to wait to the everything else. Okay, our nitrogen's good. So now we're going to do our water. So that's all we have to do. I have 6 and 3, and that's a good because that's a 2-to-1 ratio. So if I go over here, what can I put in front of it to make hydrogen 6? Well, I have 2, so I'm going to put a 3 there. So that 3 tells me now that I have 6 hydrogen. So we have 6 hydrogen. Okay, but how many oxygen do I have? I have 3. So if I go ahead and get rid of this, straight through, get rid of this one right here. And oops. And if I can ever get there, there we go, straight through that. I have 3 and 3, 1 and 1, 6 and 6, 3 and 3. We should be balanced. Let's go back and double check what we have. So I have 3 lithium on this side. I have 3 lithium on this side. I have 1 nitrogen right here, and I have 1 nitrogen on this side. I have 6 hydrogen. 3 times 2 is 6. And then I have 3 hydrogen plus these 3. 3 times 1 is 3. So a total is 6. So that's good. And my oxygen, I have 3 times 1 is 3 on this side. And I have 3 times a 1 right here is 3 on this side. So there's our balanced chemical equation. So our molar ratio is going to be 1 to 3 to 1. Oops. To 1 to 3. So again, we're going to go ahead and bold that, and we're going to change its color so we know that that's our molar ratio, so we can see it. Okay. So what's next? Well, remember, after we do our balance equation, we have to start our stoichiometry, and we're going to start with the mass that's in the problem. So it's 0.38 grams. So we're going to go down here, and we're going to put in 0.38 grams of lithium nitride. So lithium nitride, again, is right here. There's lithium nitride. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to paste that right there. Paste. And then again, we're converting from grams of something to moles, mole to mole, then back to grams. But we're converting, so we have to put our times in a line. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at it. We're going to put, since we're going to use molar mass to do this, we're going to put, what we're looking for is moles. So we're going to put 1 mole of lithium nitride. And paste that in there. And that's going to equal our grams of lithium nitride. Our grams of lithium nitride. And we have to figure out how many grams that is. Well, what is that? The molar mass. We got to figure out the molar mass of lithium nitride. So let's go ahead and just go down here for a little bit. So we have lithium nitride, and we're going to figure out how many we have. We have lithium and we have 3 lithiums. And we have nitrogen, which we only have 1 nitrogen. Okay, we're going to multiply lithium times the weight of it, which I'm not sure, but we can figure it out. And then nitrogen, we have 1 nitrogen at 14, so that's going to equal 14. Okay, so now we got to figure out what is the weight of lithium. So we're going to go back to our periodic table, scroll all the way up to the top, and once we get up the top, we'll go back to our periodic table, and we'll find lithium. Lithium is 7. So there we go. We found what it was. So 3 times 7 should equal 21, and we might double check that. So that's going to be our molar mass. So our molar mass is going to equal those two numbers combined. So if I pull out the calculator, which again we can do 21 plus 14 equals 35. Okay, so I think the number right here is going to be 35 grams of lithium nitrate. And that's going to equal 1 mole of lithium nitrite. Okay, so again, because these are equal to each other, we can use them in the molar ratio. So let's go ahead and double check the rest of our math over here. As always, 3 times 7 equals 21, and we know the other one, so we're pretty good. 21 plus 14 equals 35, so that's good. So this right here is our molar mass, so that goes right up in here, so we're going to put 35 right there. So 35 grams, 1 mole of this equals 35 grams. We'll underline that. And then we're going to got to convert it now from moles of lithium nitride, okay, from moles of lithium nitride to lithium hydroxide. So that we're doing that, so lithium hydroxide. So we're going to, but before we go ahead and do that, we can go ahead and get rid of our grams of lithium hydroxide. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that, strike that through, strike this through. You have to show it. If you don't show it, you're going to get points marked off. And because if it's still there, that means that you need to have it in your answer. And so we might as well just get rid of it as we go along. So now, after we did this, we have it in moles now. So now we have to convert it from moles of lithium nitride to moles of lithium hydroxide. So we're going to go ahead and put what we're looking for on top, which is going to be 3 moles of lithium hydroxide. Now, where did I get this through? Well, I got it from right here. So this is lithium hydroxide. What I need to do, though, is I need to put on what's on bottom. So I have moles of lithium nitride. So that's going to be 1. There's no number there, but we know that if there's not a number, it equals 1. So we're going to, down here, we're going to put 1 mole of lithium nitride. So 3 moles of lithium hydroxide equals 1 mole of lithium nitride. We get that from our balanced chemical equation. That's why we had to balance that chemical equation. So then we're going to go ahead and highlight or underline that, and we're going to get rid of anything that we can get rid of. So moles of lithium nitride on top, moles of lithium nitride on bottom. So we can go ahead and get rid of that right there. So we get rid of the first one, and then we get rid of this. Now we have it in moles of lithium hydroxide, but we don't want it in moles. It's asking for the mass of lithium hydroxide. So now we have to go back to this, and we have to convert it from moles to grams, which we're going to use our molar mass. Because remember, 1 mole of lithium hydroxide equals so many grams. We got to figure out what that is. So we can go ahead and on our bottom, put down 1 mole of lithium hydroxide equals how many grams of lithium hydroxide. So we got to come up with this number right there that goes right there. So how do we do that? We have to go back down here, and let's go ahead and figure out what the molar mass of lithium hydroxide is. And I did this wrong, so this should be a lowercase I. So let's go ahead and put down, we have lithium hydroxide. And again, if you don't have the right formula, then you've made a mistake. So you have to do the nomenclature. So let's go ahead, and we know that if I go and put this down here, I have lithium, I have oxygen, oops, I have oxygen, and I have hydrogen. So, and I have one of each one. So we have 1 times our lithium, which if you remember was 7. Okay. And that's going to equal 7. And then we have 1 oxygen, multiply that by the weight of it, which is 16, equals 16. And we have 1 hydrogen multiplied by its weight, which is 1, which equals 1. So there's our, we can see what they have, each one. So we're going to do our math, put those together. Let's double check these ones, 7, 16, and 1. So let's go back to the periodic table. 1, yep, hydrogen is 1. Lithium is 7. Okay, oxygen is 16. So we're good on that one. So we're going to add those together. So we're going to have 7 plus 16 plus 1 equals 24. Let's do that again. 7 plus 16 plus 1 equals 24. So the molar mass is equal to 24 grams of lithium hydroxide. So where does this 24 go? Well, that 24 goes right there. So we're going to put 24 there. And now what we can do is we can go ahead and underline this. And before we do anything else, we got to get rid of something. We got to get rid of this moles of lithium. I have it on top and bottom. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of it. We'll get rid of it there. And we're going to get rid of it here. And now I'm left with grams of lithium hydroxide. And go back to the question, is that what it's asking for? So we go back up here, it's asking for what, and determine the mass of lithium hydroxide. So that is what it's asking for. So now all I have to do is do my calculations. So I'm going to take my original number, I'll multiply by the top, divide by the bottom. Ones I don't have to do anything with because they don't change the value when I multiply or divide by 1. So let's take 0.8, excuse me, 0.38. We're going to divide that by 35. We're going to multiply it by 3, and then we're going to multiply it by 24. And that equals 0.7817. Okay, so let's go ahead and put that in here. 0.7817. Okay, let's double check and make sure that's our number. Okay, 7817, 7817. How many significant figures does the answer need to be in, though? So let's go back up to the original problem. Oh, I already wrote it down right there, so it needs to be in 2 significant figures. So if we scroll back to it, this 0 is not significant because zeros at the beginning are never significant. Even if there's a decimal, it's only the ones at the end that are significant if there's a decimal. So we put our line right there. The 1 says we drop everything off, so we're just going to get rid of that, and there should be our final answer. So go ahead and highlight that, and we're done. So our answer is 0.78 grams of lithium hydroxide is needed, or excuse me, will be produced when we start off with 0.38 grams of lithium nitride, as long as we have excess of everything else. Okay, that's that one. That's the starter practice sheet number 2. So good luck on the rest of the problems. Hey, as always, go Mohawks. Nelson out.